Let me introduce myself. I'm Amber, 41 years old, a woman who, to the world, is just another dull supporting character in other people's stories. You know that dry bread, without butter, that no one even remembers is on the table? Well, that's me. Or at least that's what they think. Why, inside? Oh, inside I'm a volcano, baby. And let me tell you, I'm about to erupt. And do you know who the reason for all this fire is? My cousin Daphne. The perfect Daphne. Daphne magazine cover. Daphne with a life that looks like a margarine commercial. But do you know what drives me the most? Her husband, Jackson. A monument in the shape of a man. Greek god? He is the definition. Every photo of the two of them together makes me burn. In a way you can't even imagine. Admiration? No, my dear. It's pure envy mixed with desire. A desire that burns and leaves no room for anything else. Now, I'll be honest. I've never been stupid. I always knew that all of Daphne's generosity was my gateway. That's where the idea was born. If I can't have what I want my way, I'll take what's hers. And the target? Jackson. That man was born to be mine, and I was more than ready to do whatever it took to have him. And of course, everything that comes with it. I still remember the first time I saw Jackson. It was like getting a shock. He had that presence that steals the air from the room, a suit that seemed painted on the body, a smile that provoked, and a look. Ah, that look. He didn't even need to touch you to make you feel naked. And Daphne? She knew she had a rare man, or thought I knew. When she invited me to her birthday dinner, I saw my chance. My debut in the perfect world of both. I wore my best game, literally. A dress fitted in the right places, showing off, but without giving everything away, just to give it that taste. I played the role of the needy cousin, the obliterated woman, but inside, my attention was riveted on him, and then it happened. Look, one moment. He saw me. I felt the ice and heat rise together up my spine. Did he notice me? The answer came soon. Are you enjoying the wine, Amber? Ah, that tone. I could have sworn he was playing. A double meaning? Perhaps. I didn't drop the ball. It's delicious, but I confess, I like more intense things. Daphne laughed innocently, amused, as if we were really talking about wine. But me? I savored that moment. The truth is that they weren't just the perfect couple. They were my next game, and I was willing to win. After that dinner, something changed inside me. It wasn't just curiosity. It was hunger. I no longer wanted to look at their lives from afar, like a spectator. I wanted to dive into it, get a taste of luxury, adrenaline, and, of course, Jackson's attention. He was the missing piece of my puzzle. And me? I already knew exactly how to put together the game. Daphne was the weak point, always with that exaggerated kindness, full of almost irritating altruism. It was the perfect passport. Every casual conversation, every confidence I uttered, was part of my plan. Brick by brick, I was building the bridge to get exactly where I wanted. Amber, you seem so alone. Why don't you spend more time here with us? She said, with that good Samaritan smile that got on my nerves, and at the same time, was part of the game. He reciprocates with a poor thing look, calculated to the millimeter. You're an angel, Daphne. I really need someone like you around. Inside? I was laughing. You fell right, honey. I was officially in. Every visit, every dinner, every second with them was a move on my board. Jackson? He still had no idea who I really was. And Daphne? Well, she thought she was helping her helpless little cousin. How sweet. After Daphne opened the door for me, the game began in earnest. I knew exactly how to manipulate her kindness. A shy smile here, a false compliment there, a look of admiration. And so, I gained space. Suddenly, there I was, spending whole afternoons at their house, as if I were part of that world. Daphne, confident and distracted, left me alone with Jackson while she went out to sort out her things. And me? I took advantage. Oh, how I enjoyed it. When he entered the room, I would adjust my posture, cross my legs very slowly, and pretend to use my cell phone, leaving the room filled with that tension that only I noticed. Amber, are you comfortable? "Do you need anything else?" he asked once. With that deep voice that seemed to slide over my skin, I looked up and let out a measured smile. "Ah, Jackson, you already do so much for me. I don't even know how to thank you." Daphne had no idea what was going on right under her nose. Every casual touch, every seemingly innocent exchange of words was coldly calculated. I was weaving the web, thread by thread, and Jackson was starting to get tangled up in it. It was just a matter of time. When he finally fell, I knew there would be no going back. He would be mine. And Daphne? Well, she would have no idea what hit her. Every interaction with Jackson was a game of seduction, of strategy. And me? I was ready to win. I knew it couldn't be obvious. Men like Jackson don't fall for platitudes. So I played with the mystery, the forbidden, the kind of thing that makes your blood run faster and your heart beat at the wrong rate. It didn't take long for him to start noticing, to pay more attention than you should. One afternoon, while Daphne was out, I settled on the couch with a glass of wine in one hand and an open book in the other. When Jackson walked in, I let my gaze wander over him, slow, calculated. He noticed. Of course he noticed. "You seem very focused, Amber. What book is that?" he asked, stopping right in front of me. I looked up, letting my voice slide in an almost whispered tone. "Ah, it's just a story about forbidden desires." He gave a short laugh, but I saw it. In the way he looked at me, there was more than simple curiosity. We were flirting with a dangerous limit, and we both knew it. I ran my fingers through my hair, playing with the strap of my dress, leaving a slight slip of skin showing. "You seem tense, Jackson. You should relax more." He cleared his throat, looking away, but not before I noticed that discreet, almost imperceptible smile at the corner of his lips. A clear sign. He was falling. Every exchange of glances, every word placed with precision, was like weaving my web around him. And Jackson? He was holding on to her. It was just a matter of time. Of course, I knew my approach wouldn't go unnoticed. For long, Daphne wasn't stupid. But what she was smart about, I was a strategist. It was just about keeping the game under control. Until that day, it was a dinner like any other. Daphne at my side, Jackson in front. In the middle of the conversation, I dropped an innocent compliment about what a perfect host he was. I saw Daphne raise an eyebrow. It was subtle, but it was there. She didn't say anything. Not at that time. But later, in the kitchen, the bombshell came. "Amber, is there something you want to tell me?" I feigned confusion. I played with innocence. "Tell? What are you talking about, Daphne?" She looked at me steadily, her smile more tense than usual. "Do you think I don't understand? The looks? The words? You're crossing limits." For a moment, my heart raced, but I knew how to disguise it. I approached with the most angelic expression I could muster. Low eyes, soft tone. "Daphne, you're imagining things. I would never do anything to hurt you, or your family." She hesitated. Of course he hesitated. The doubt was there, written, all over her face. But trust, that blind trust in her goodness, still held her. And I knew that played in my favor. She might have suspected it, but she had no proof. And as long as that was the case, I had what I needed. Time. Time to keep playing. Time to turn the tide. I knew the confrontation was going to happen. It was inevitable. Daphne, as nice as she was, wasn't stupid. She didn't ignore signs for long, and the moment has arrived. It was a rainy night. Jackson had gone on a business trip and I was at home, comfortable, thinking the coast was clear. But there she was, waiting for me in the room, arms crossed, gaze firm, penetrating, a look that seemed like it wanted to completely undress me, just not in the way Jackson did. "Amber, I think we need to talk." I played dumb. Of course, the classic game of disagreement. "Of course, Daphne. What is it?" She got up from the couch, her steps slow, calculated. "I trusted you. I opened my home, my life, but now I see that you are trying to take everything that is mine, including Jackson." For a moment, I considered denying it. It could have been the safest way, but looking at her, with that defiant tone, I felt something different, a desire to test how far she would go, to provoke. So I blurted out, "What? If I was?" He seemed so Dissatisfied Daphne. Maybe the problem isn't me. Her eyes changed in a second. The fury came like a storm. For a moment, I thought she was going to fly at me. I confess, part of me wanted it. But Daphne wasn't the type to blow up easily. No, she was the type who kept her anger, calculated her next move. If you think you can destroy me, Amber, you are underestimating what I can do to protect what is mine. I let out a short laugh, full of disdain. Let's see who wins this game, cousin. The battle was declared. I knew that. She knew that. Only one of us would win, and I was willing to go all the way. My confidence was my greatest weapon. It always was. But, as everyone knows, even the most powerful weapons have their weak point. And mine? Well, he showed up the day Jackson got back from his trip. He walked through the door with a different look. Cold. Distant. Something was wrong. I felt it in the air. Daphne had acted. She had struck before I could strike mine. Dinner seemed ordinary, calm, routine, but one gesture was enough to turn everything upside down. Jackson raised his glass to toast and suddenly said, "Amber, Daphne told me everything." My heart raced. It was like being punched in the chest, but on the outside, I kept the mask on. "Everything what?" I asked, in the most innocent voice I could muster. He placed the glass on the table with force. The sound echoed like a warning. "Your intentions, Amber. You took advantage of my wife's kindness, tried to destroy our marriage." My eyes went straight to Daphne, and there she was, with that victorious smile that told me everything I needed to know. She won. The game is over. That night I left, with nothing but the clothes on his back and the bitter taste of defeat in his mouth. For the first time, I felt the weight of everything I had done. My obsession, my hunger for something that was never mine, only left me emptier. As I drove down the deserted road, hot, silent tears flowed. They weren't tears of anger or frustration. They were painful, because deep down, all I wanted was one thing: to be seen, be loved. But the price I paid for it was too high. And what was left for me now? Just loneliness. If I've learned anything from all of this, it's that envy is like poison. It consumes you, feeds you, but in the end, it destroys you. My obsession with a life that wasn't mine blinded me to what really mattered. I wanted so much to be desired, to be special, that I ended up pushing away everything and everyone who could have truly loved me. And you know what hurts the most? I lost. Daphne and Jackson moved on while I was stuck with the consequences of my choices. Now, I want to know, have you ever found yourself comparing your life to someone else's? Have you ever wanted something that was never yours? If so, know this. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't let her steal your peace. It's time to look inside and see what you already have. Because believe me, the emptiness of envy is not worth it. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below saying what you thought of the story, and subscribe to the channel. Your interaction is what keeps this space alive and full of provocative stories like this one.